All right. First and foremost, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Christ. Forget a fan in the background. We in Texas now, and it is ungodly hot. So, yeah, that fan is on. I don't give a damn about how it's interfering with your listening experience personally.
Right.
It's your brother. It is your brother, Chief Priest Alazaba, lawyer, the Guerrilla Hebrew. I'm joined alongside my broadcast partner, colleague, fellow biracial angel, and Beige Ranger, fellow Levitical priest, SICARI. What's going on, Issa?
What's going on, brother? Appreciate you having me on here.
Well, this is a sub podcast of the Issa Guerrilla podcast. We're starting called Beige Rage, the biracial angels. Beige Rage. All right, so we're gonna rage about some things, okay? Some things that are affecting us in the beige community, which is a part of the greater black community. A segment that we've been marginalized into, that non-beige people have created us and marginalized us into. There's clearly an elephant in the room as far as the black world is concerned right now. That elephant in the room, that's not a pun intended to the weight gain that he's clearly undergone, which is Kanye West. Kanye West. All right. Everybody knows about the comments that he recently made. 400 years of slavery was a choice. And just basically, like, I was watching Big Herc. I was watching Big Herc live stream the other day. Big shout out Big Herc from Fresh Out Prison Life series here on YouTube. Plug in with him, check him out, check his videos out. So in Big Herc's live stream, somebody said Kanye ain't black, he's OJ. Going back to the OJ comment, I'm not black, I'm OJ. So Kanye West is clearly associating himself with being in that category of the, yes, I'm black, but I've gotten to a financial status to where I'm not like the rest of you niggas. And because he's now talking as if he's not a part of the black populace. For you to say 400 years of slavery was a choice, if we follow your narrative, you would also have to say that the slavery that you are subjugating yourself to at this present time is also a conscientious choice that you are making. You are choosing to be a slave yourself at that point, because that's what you're nothing less than a slave. You signed it. Who's you with now? Adidas? I got a call. He's with Adidas. He was a slave to Louis. He was a slave to Nike. Now he's Adidas slave. You see what I'm saying? So that's a choice that you made. You tried to not be a slave. And that's what the whole thing on Sway was about, remember? Trying not to be a slave. I wasted $13 million of my own money trying to launch my own clothing line, and these crackers wouldn't let me in the door. And that was what his whole rant was. So instead of continually working harder, you chose to be a slave. But I want to backtrack with Kanye. Because people were putting like May 2nd, Kanye West died. All this wild stuff all over social media. And in my opinion, Kanye West been lost his mind and been quote unquote died a long time ago. A long time ago. The first time I seen Kanye West was before Through the Wire came out. I seen Kanye West. When it had to be 2003. Let me see when Through the Wire came out. As a single. It was before Through the Wire came out. I noticed of a certainty though. And it's good. We're gonna have his everything pulled up. Let's go to his discography. Kanye West album discography, studio albums, College Dropout. Yeah, 2004 is when it came out. So let's just take a look at when Through the Wire. Singles. Come on, where is it at? Through the Wire don't even got a damn article. Yeah, it's got to. You had a lot of songs on here.
19.
Through the Wire. Where we at?
2002.
No, that's when he. I think that was when he got in his car accident.
Count.
When was it released? Okay, that was the whole background.
Go back up.
This is when it happened.
September 30th, 2003.
September 30th, yeah. So it was like just around that. Let me see if I remember. Audiotistic 2003. Yep, they got it. Yeah, okay. This was right around this. So I'm gonna tell you the date I learned about Kanye West, or the first time I seen him. I want to see if this was before it came out. Yeah, this was definitely it. Audiotistic. So this was April 13th, 2002. I don't know. It might have been after that. 2003. No, it was October 18th. This was it. I was at this show called Audiotistic in LA at the sports arena. So it was like a couple weeks after Through the Wire first came out. But this is when he's super new to the scene. I don't even know if I don't even believe I heard Through the Wire at this point. But I remember during Talib's set, because I want to say it really was a Black Star set, because I think Mos Def was there too, if I remember correctly. But I was here. I was like 12 years old. I wasn't even 12 yet. It was 18. So I was 12 because it was 2003. So I went to this show because my dad performed at the hit. See, look, you see my pop's name right there? Boom. Yeah. So my dad performed. Inside was like the what my dad do, which is like the electronic music, but outside was the rap stage. So after my dad went on, I went outside, and this was during Talib's. I want to say it was probably during Black Alicia's performance. But then Talib came, and then it was, damn, Nas headline. I didn't even see Nas. We left during the Outkast set. But at the end of Talib Kweli's set, he brought out Kanye, and they were doing like a freestyle cypher. I remember Kanye said some crazy, because his College Dropout was coming out. So he had a line like, I had to drop out of school because I was fucking a tutor or something like that. Niggas went insane. I remember that vividly. And that's the first time I ever seen Kanye West. So I say that from that point, this was October 18th, 2003, to now, 15 years later, I mean, the niggas, that's why I'm saying he been a whole different nigga. Because what I seen on that stage 15 years ago was nothing like the nigga that's walking around today with the Make America Great hat on and the shorts, with blonde hair, with the shorts showing his knees, married to that white bitch, bro. I mean, he's a completely different nigga. You know what I mean? So, I mean, going from even his style, he was wearing the polos and the backpacks back then. And of course, people's style is going to evolve over time, but just everything about him was different. And I remember there used to be a dude. I want to see if he's still on YouTube. Let me see. Hold on. Kajani Amari, I think. Kajani Amari. Now, he was huge. See this 8 years ago? It's a YouTube page called Kajani Amari AK. Satanism and Hip Hop Edition 2 Kanye West. That's one of his original videos. I mean, we might watch these later. If you've never seen or heard of these. Back when I was first coming into the truth, 10 to 8 years ago, this dude, I mean, he had people going crazy because he was doing so many breakdowns on Satanism and hip hop. He was basically going into all the Illuminati and satanic symbolism in all these music videos and in these interviews. I'm talking about amazing breakdowns. So he did one on Kanye, and it was over the evolution of Kanye's career, and basically when he sold out, and when you can tell he sold out, and how he did music videos that showed that he sold out, right? So you had, like, on this first album, which I don't think anybody will disagree with. Look at this, top to bottom. We Don't Care was a good record. All Falls Down, of course, was an amazing record. Fly Away was an amazing record. Spaceship was an amazing record. Jesus Walks. Jesus Walks was a big deal. Because in the video that he'll show he went from this Jesus Walks and this faithfully inspired thing, and then later on, he gets a little bit more godless. later on in his, especially during the second, third album.
He's got an album called Yeezus.
Yeezus, which that ain't that bad. Like he said, what he said? He said, I ain't the most high, but I'm the close high.
No, and he's got a song in the beginning. He literally says, "I am God."
Well, he's saying he's a god. No, I am a god.
No, he says, "I am God," like he's saying he's the Most High.
No, but he went into it. I remember because the white boy tried to get at him for it, but he had tweeted the white boy back Psalm 82:6. So nah, he wasn't. I don't think he did. I don't think he jumped out the window that damn far. But yeah, it was I am a god. It wasn't I am God. Then he had Get 'Em High, Heat, the workout plan, Heat, slow jams,
Right, yeah, he just said,
Heat,
"I am a God."
a god, right? Through the Wire, of course. So he had, this was an amazing album, College Dropout. Huge, amazing album. Nobody will argue with that, I don't think. At least I would hope not, right? Boom. And it's crazy. Look, Jesus Walks was a Curtis Mayfield sample. That's amazing, right? Which he always did. All his beats had samples. What am I talking about? So anyway, we had he did this, boom. But then if we take a look at this progression of his discography, let me see here. College Dropout. Okay, boom. If we just take a look, then you had Late Registration, Graduation. By 808s and Heartbreaks, he's a completely different nigga. So through the course of Late Registration and Graduation, through the various music videos that he was putting out, it was showing his transformation going from this kid that just wants to make music into selling his soul in Late Registration and Graduation. Just like you have what's my man? Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Right? So it's showing you the different Masonic levels that he's going through with Blueprint 2 and Blueprint 3. You see what I'm saying? So this, which Kajani Amari would document very in depth here, is all of how people would do all these things, how they would go through these transformations and things of that nature. And they would document it in their music and in the videos or whatnot. So when you have an album called Graduation, this is his third album. He's reaching that third stage. He's now graduated. He's into it now. You see what I'm saying? So then by the time we get to 808s and Heartbreaks, we're dealing with a completely different nigga than we was the first three albums. And we can even see it. And then by the time we get to my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I remember when this came out, this is the one that had what's that joint on there? That with the pianos?
Runaway.
Runaway. I used to wake up out of my sleep if Runaway came on. I'll wake up out of my sleep to change the damn channel. That's how heavily satanic the vibrations on this song was. I'll wake the hell up out of my sleep, right? So we can clearly see through the various music and all the various changes in a man's life that he clearly was going through a lot. It's amidst all this, his mama died at some point in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which it's believed by many that was a sacrifice. So we've seen the man change. So and also we've seen a rapid deterioration of the quality of music that he puts out from 808s and Heartbreaks on. You can't tell me that any of these albums are classic albums. 808s and Heartbreaks to The Life of Pablo. The Life of Pablo was was a joke as far as albums go. Yeezus,
Yeezus was the worst one, I thought.
Life of Pablo was probably worse than Yeezus, in my opinion. But they're all pretty much hot garbage after Graduation. Just being truthful. So we see that rapid decline in the quality of music that he's producing. So I don't understand why people are hanging on to him like he's a goddamn titty the way they are, and they're so disappointed and they're so surprised. The nigga's been going off the deep end. The nigga been losing his mind. The nigga music been garbage. The nigga married Kim K after everybody else had her. Everybody. It's bad enough that for anybody to have got with Kim after Ray J busted on her for the world to see, which was her claim to fame. But then after everybody else been and had her, you married the girl? You see what I'm saying? That is a testament to the state of the man's sanity.
He made a whole housewife.
Made a whole housewife. That is a testament to the man and a heathen hoe at that. If you was gonna make a whole housewife, you could have got a sister at least.
Right.
At least done that for us. Instead, you went and get with the Kris Jenner's satanic progeny.
Oh boy.
You see what I'm saying? Absolutely ridiculous. So as we can see, his music has gotten more garbage. His sanity has deteriorated. Everything. You got a fact?
Yeah, and then 2011, this dude had a song called Eyes Closed. Nigga, he said, I sold my soul to the devil. That's his first verse.
Yeah. It's a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. Also, another one he said, remember the song he had, Monster? That was on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, right? So on Monster, at the end, he had somebody singing, I've crossed the line and I'll let God decide. Basically saying, I've sold my soul and the Most High is going to have to deal with me for that, but fuck the rest of y'all, essentially. You see what I'm saying? So that's that unrepentant, merciless sin and godlessness that he began to promote. And I'm going to tell you how funny it is. Once I turned on The Life of Pablo, right? Because we had title for a time, myself and Captain Tazamal Maf of the camp, we were sharing the title account for a time because Money and Violence, the TV series, was airing on title. So The Life of Pablo dropped, so I said, you know what, let me check it out. It's streaming exclusively on title at this point. So let me check it out, even though I've been severely disappointed with all of the musical performances that Kanye has had in recent times. Let me check out The Life of Pablo. And it was hilarious. Because I played one beat. I can't even tell you the song. It was so garbage. I ain't going back to it. But just by the way the beat is, I know exactly what Kanye gonna get on the song and say. And it was the song where he said what he was talking about, the girl bleached her asshole or some crazy stuff like that. Yeah, exactly, that garbage, right? I didn't know he was gonna say that, but I knew it was gonna be about him, a random sexual, innuendo with some girl that he met, because at this point that's the only thing he makes music about.
Is Father Stretch My Hands Part 2, I think is what it's called.
See what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. I'ma feel like an asshole.
Right.
like this dude was making meaningful records at a point in his career. The nigga made Jesus Walks. That's one of the most meaningful and impactful hip hop singles of all time. And now all he's talking about is feeling like an asshole because he met some random white girl who bleached her asshole. This is some of the dumbest stuff I've ever heard in my life. But niggas is in an uproar like this is somebody we're still supposed to value the opinion of.
Right.
He's been endorsed Trump. The first meeting Trump took, I think, when he was elected was Kanye West. If I recollect correctly, or early on in his campaign, or at some point either early on in his campaign or early on in his election, he had a meeting with Kanye West. So I don't even understand what the big deal is and why we're so surprised about Kanye. If you could give me that in Maccabees. First Maccabees 12. Certain haters of their own people.
Yeah.
That's all Kanye West is, man. And that's what's got to be understood about that whole situation. I don't even understand why we give a damn about this nigga or a lot of niggas. He's not even, and that's the coldest thing. Like, he literally is just a user and a leech of black people at this point. And that's what you have to understand. You have to understand that when these certain of our people get into these upper echelons of society and they feel as if they're not black anymore, they're OJ, like OJ, whom I love OJ, and I'm a big fan and supporter of Orenthal James Simpson.
That's right.
But we understand that he got lost in that as well. So what happened when he got lost in that and he realized he was black again? He had to endear the black masses. That's who got behind him during that trial.
Right.
That's who said he was not guilty on that jury, was black people. So he understood he had to come back to that. But everybody doesn't come to that realization and understanding. Michael Jordan doesn't do it. Michael Jordan's another one of them niggas who ain't black no more. So Kanye feels like, and my whole thing is, I want to look up Kanye's net worth because I truthfully don't think Kanye West has enough money to even feel like that. To be honest with you,
125 million.
Let's see. I have a feeling it's
Kim K's more than him.
It's sub 100 million.
No, it's over 100 million.
Let's find out. Let's look at his Forbes.
I'm saying it's at least 120.
Let's find. Well, we gonna find out.
Kim probably got like 200 something million.
Yeah, that's Kim. That's Kim money though. You know.
God.
Nigga get that white girl money, he think it's his money. Man, what's that cash like, man?
Let me look it up.
It don't say right here on Forbes. I need to see this.
This is 160 million.
160?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a check.
Some say 145. Some say 160. So I mean, mid.
But look. He's 53 million in personal debt. You see what I'm saying? So that 160 million, it ain't really. Oh, but look, this is what happened. He got 56 million in a year. Yeah, so I mean, he's getting his money. So maybe he does have enough money to where he could feel like that. Even though you should never feel like that, because as much as you feel like that, and that's the thing. I guess him and Jay are kind of beefing now, but you know, Jay-Z, rich nigga, poor nigga, still nigga on his 444 album, and I mean, people took issue to that, but it was a point. It doesn't matter what you think, you're still a nigga in the eyes of these crackers. Go ahead.
Even Kanye, that's how it's crazy how he felt. He said even if you what he said, something about a bench, still a nigga in a coupe.
Yeah, you just a nigga in a coupe. This is not a secret, but this nigga's acting like he's not. And again, to say 400 years of slavery was a choice. I mean, there's different ways that you could look at that statement, right? And I believe he issued and took to Twitter and kind of cleared his statement up. But there's memes going around. And there's a meme of a black woman on a boat partying. And it says, my ancestor leaving Ghana headed to Barbados to make the choice to be a slave. We know that wasn't a choice to get taken into slavery, right? To remain a slave, there could have been a choice to revolt. You know, us two being from Haiti, our ancestors revolted. Right? So we made the choice to get out of that. Everybody wasn't in that mind state because there's certain mental state that, especially the slavery that happened in what's now known as the United States of America, the type of mental game that they play, we still are seeing the effects of it majorly. Not saying that we're not seeing it elsewhere, but in America, that slave game they played in America was real mental. It was real focused on mentally tearing people down. And that's what's been able to keep people in such a slave mentality for centuries the way it has. It's going back to the Willie Lynch letter and whatnot. But I wouldn't say it was a conscientious choice the way he kind of played it to be. And that's why people are in such an uproar about it. But you expect us to buy your album. And that's the thing too. People say no publicity is necessarily bad publicity, but I don't know. The way you pissing black people off right now, we're not going to fuck with your album. And I know what you're thinking. I don't need it because white people have the money and they're going to buy my album. But what you don't realize is the power of the consumption dollars of black people and Hispanic people is so high. I mean, literally, it is the 10th largest economy in the world. Black people and what we spend our money on. Though we don't know how to pool resources, we don't show the best spending habits, we spend money. As a collective, we are the top consumers in this country. So as being the top consumers in this country, you have to understand that you need us to spend our money on you. Period. No way around it. And what you're doing is literally fast-tracking yourself for us to not spend our money on you. I mean, I wasn't going to spend, I don't even have a streaming service. I ain't going to spend a goddamn dime on it, personally. But that's just me. I don't spend a dime on a lot. I'm very narrow in the artists that I listen to. Right? You have something? Go ahead. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 11, verse 21. Then came ungodly persons.
Who?
Ungodly
That's
persons.
Kanye West, an ungodly person. Read.
Who hated their own people.
He hates black people, Kanye West. And it's evident. He absolutely hates black people. And he's agreeing with this girl, CANDID something. That uncle, auntie, that bedwench whore. And she's saying black people should stop blaming slavery.
Pull herself up by her bootstraps mentality.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we ain't got no bootstraps.
Yeah, I mean, I hear it like, in theory, it sounds great. Hey, that was the past, guys. We're in a different time. None of that matters now. we all have a fair shake. It's just not true. And Kanye West knows that, because when Kanye West went and did that rant with Sway, a great rant, he's like, my nigga, these niggas got uncles that could put them in the game. They got people who are going to financially bail them out. We don't have shit. He said that. So you can't tell me that pull yourself up by the bootstraps bullshit, because you know the game ain't fair and the game is rigged. And there's a glass ceiling and only ever so many niggas get in. Period. You're talking about black people who are the pioneers of every important idea that has sent America into the future that it's in now. From the goddamn internet, the computer, the goddamn automobile, the goddamn liquor industry, the stop motherfucking light. You understand what I'm saying? The things that have helped America to progress to the level that it's at now are all black ideas that white people went and owned the goddamn patents for the most part. Right? So you know the game ain't fair. Black families are not waxing rich and obtaining excessive amounts of wealth off the ideas of their grandparents. White kids are doing that off the ideas of black people and their grandparents' slaves' ideas, man. You see what I'm saying? So you can't, the pull yourself up by the bootstrap mentality for black people, it doesn't work, because it still isn't fair. What proves it's not fair, as we're on pace, as people of color, to outpopulate white people in America, you know, within the next 20 to 30 years. Within the next 20 to 30 years, we're on pace to have control over an even lower amount of wealth as people of color in America. White people are going to decrease in number, yet their wealth is going to increase. Why? Because the game ain't fair, my nigga. So to sit here and play like the game is fair and that's a good idea, that's not a good idea. The ideas that bedwench whore Candace has are not good ideas. And the reason why they're not is because they're predicated upon a false pretense. And that false pretense is that it's a fair and balanced world that we live in. And regardless of skin color or race or ethnic origin or background or religion or creed, so-called, we all have a fair shot. We don't have it. You said what?
Candace Owens, that's her name.
Candace Owens, that bitch. And we're going to disrespect her.
Con.
Why? Because she, like Kanye West, is a treacherous member of our people group. That's right? Go ahead.
This book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
Because that's who we are, the Israelites. And you have wicked amongst our people. Read.
Who persuaded many.
Who persuade many. Through their influence, through their social media, through their music. Persuade many to do what?
Saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Let's get down with these crackers, man. These crackers got it. They got money, and I want to live comfortably, and I want what they have. When Kanye West dyed his hair blonde, when Kanye West went and got Kim Kardashian, we have to understand what he wanted. He wanted what the white man has. He wants his woman. He wants his hair. He wants his home. He wants to live in his neighborhood. He wants to drive his car. Why does he want those things? Because ultimately, in his mind, being a white man is the greatest thing anyone can ever be.
Right.
It is being conformed to the image of the beast that the book of Revelations talks about. And that's what Kanye wants. So he thinks he has it. Little does he know, he could get on his knees in front of Trump all he wants. Them crackers still say nigga, including Trump. You're still nigga. You're still nigga. There's no way around. Absolutely nowhere around. Right? Anything you got more to say on the situation?
Kind of, just a little bit more. It says, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
You see that? So we don't follow the white man, and we're not in bed with him and following his agenda and playing according to the rules that he set, we're going to have sorrow. That is the mentality of Kanye West and so many other niggas, man. Go ahead.
Well, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so it's clear. Candace Owens and so many others, they all have this mentality. And then it's funny, because you had Saha the Prince, who was an artist of Kanye West. I guess he made a tweet in defense of Kanye West saying something along the lines of Martin Luther King was a Republican.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Personally, if you're a black person and you follow any political party, you're an idiot. You're a dummy.
That's right.
All black people were Republicans. Until when? John F. Kennedy. And niggas love John F. Kennedy so much that niggas just became Democrats. Nigga can't explain to you why he's a Democrat, why he's a Republican. You know what?
Niggas don't even know what Democrat means.
Yeah. It's just Democrats and Republicans. All right? Like my man, what's that wrestler name? Jesse Ventura, right? Let's go into the Republican. You got a scripture?
And really, just tying into what you're bringing out, he wants to be the white man. That's why he's dying his hair. He's getting his woman living like him, speaking like him, right? This is Sirach chapter 9, and so like verse 11, it says, "Envy not the glory of a sinner."
There we go. He envies the glory of the white man. That's what he wants. That glory of that wicked and evil bastard and devil that has raped, robbed, and murdered your people and everyone on earth. Go ahead.
For thou knowest not what shall be his end.
You see that? And his end is going to be his destruction. And you love him so much and you want to join yourself unto him, you're going to share in his destruction. There's no way around it, right? So look, let's take a look at this. I want to look at this Republican Party. Let's even understand the fundamental differences between Democrats and Republicans. Because I know black people don't understand this. You know why? Because before I knew anything about this, I was just a Democrat. You know why I was a Democrat? Because my daddy was a Democrat. You think my daddy going to tell you the difference between a Democrat and Republican? He going to just say, well, these crackers is all right with us and these crackers are racist. But then turn around and say that they're all racist. Except Bill Clinton. My grandpa didn't vote his whole life until Bill Clinton ran for office in 1992. Finally voted for Bill goddamn Clinton. And ain't that a damn shame? Little did my grandfather know that cracker years later was going to come to our island and rob it. Was going to come to our island. But my grandfather was tricked by this devil to the point where he said, you know what? I ain't never voted a day in my goddamn life. I ain't never gave a good goddamn about which cracker presided over me since I came to the United States of America. But you know what? I'm going to vote for this devil. Flash forward 15 years later, that same devil goes to our island and rapes, robs, and murders us down there.
That's right.
Crazy, right? So let's take a look at the Republican Party. Because in truth, the fundamental ideals of the black household correspond with Republicans more than Democrats. Period. And I'm not co-signing being a member of any American political party because they all hate your guts. They all own slaves. Newsflash. The Republican Party, commonly referred to as the GOP, which is the Grand Old Party, is one of two major political parties in the United States. The other being the historic rival, the Democratic Party. The party is named after Republicanism, a major ideology of American Revolution. Founded by anti-slavery activists. You see that? Well, wait a minute. It's founded by anti-slavery activists. So why don't we stand with the Republicans? Because of John F. Kennedy. Niggas try to act like, yo, the party is different. No. It's really literally JFK. He's the one that made niggas Republican. And it's fitting we're here in Dallas where JFK got his brains blew out.
That's right.
The party is named after, okay, boom. Founded by anti-slavery activists, economic modernizers, ex-national Republicans, ex-free soldiers, and Whigs in 1854. The Republicans dominated politics nationally and in the majority of northern states for the most of the period between 1860 and 1932. So here we have 72 years of the ideals of the Republican Party being what we attribute to the Democratic Party now, right? And it's funny because we was in Walmart the other day, and I heard these two older sisters that work at Walmart talking about how they're praying that the Democrats can get control of the house again. And it's funny because my grandma, she always say, yeah, man, everything going wrong. These Republicans, they not, like when Obama was in office, these Republicans, they not letting him do nothing. He doesn't want to do anything. What bills are they not letting him pass that he is attempting to pass for our benefit? That's what I want to know. What are they working so painstakingly against for him that's going to be so overwhelmingly beneficial for us? There was nothing, right? The Republican Party originally, let me tell you something. Donald Trump doubled the amount of money you get for kids, which is a major cash earner of black people every year, claiming kids on taxes. He doubled that, right? So he done already did more than Obama did in 8 years. Not saying I'm a Trump, I endorse Trump, right? But just saying, I mean, we have to really look at the meat and potatoes. Who's doing what? The proof is in the pudding, right? The Republican Party originally championed classic liberal ideas which is now what is attributed to being a Democrat. More conservative is more contributed to Republican now, including anti-slavery and economic reforms. The party was usually dominant over the Democrats during the third-party system and fourth-party system. In 1912, Theodore Roosevelt formed a progressive party after being rejected by the GOP and ran as a candidate. He called for many social reforms, some of which were later championed by New Deal Democrats in the 1930s. So basically, the Democrats stole the political party model of Theodore Roosevelt, and that's kind of how they progressed. He lost the election, and when most of his supporters returned to the GOP, they were at odds with the new conservative economic stance, leading to them leaving for the Democratic Party, and an ideological shift to the right in the Republican Party. So this is when the shift happened. The liberal New Deal Democrats dominated the fifth party system at the national level. The weak liberal Republican element was overwhelmed by a conservative surge begun by Barry Goldwater in 1964 and fulfilled during the Reagan era. So here's what's funny, right? What people are saying is, when Saha the Prince brings up that Martin Luther King was a Republican, is they're saying that it was a different party during that time. But as we can clearly see from what we're reading, that the major fundamental changes in the party occurred prior to Martin Luther King's emergence. So Martin Luther King was a part of the Republican Party that we see now, the early stages of it. So that's bullshit, right? It says currently their ideology is American conservatism, which contrasts with the Democrats' liberal platform and progressive wing. The GOP's political platform supports lower taxes. Wait a minute, is low taxes bad? I thought we liked lower taxes. Free market capitalism, which we benefit from sometimes when you want to deal with entrepreneurialism. But the only problem is a lot of times we can't obtain the capital for that entrepreneurialism and loans and things of that nature. But that has to do with racist banking systems that were founded upon slavery, right? Free enterprise. What's wrong with free enterprise? Nothing. A strong national defense, gun rights. All these things. How many niggas is locked up for guns? If we had more gun rights, it wouldn't be so many gun cases and niggas sitting in jail over guns. If there was more gun rights. Deregulation and restrictions on labor unions. That, I guess, this anti-union stance they have is, I guess that would be a negative. But as for the principal points here, these are not things that are adverse to black people. In addition to advocating for conservative economic policies, the Republican Party is socially conservative and seeks to uphold traditional values based largely on Judeo-Christian ethics. Aren't most black people a part of Christianity? Don't most black people act as if we at least uphold Judeo-Christian ethics, not committing abortions, anti-homosexual, trying to at least say that we should have a family unit? These are all things that black people have historically prided themselves upon and have built their communities upon, what little communities we have. So again, the points of republicanism and is in correlation with the lives and the communities of black people are far more in accordance with each other than in so-called the Democratic Party. It don't even make any goddamn sense. The GOP was strongly committed to protectionism and tariffs from its founding until the 1930s, when it was based in the industrial Northeast and Midwest. Since 1952, there has been a reversal against protectionism and for free trade. The party's core support since the 1990s comes chiefly from the South, the Great Plains, and the mountain states and rural areas in the North, which aka crackers, as well as Orthodox Jews, Catholics, Mormons, and evangelicals nationwide. The party has won 24 of the last 40 presidential elections. There have been a total of 19 Republican presidents, the most of any from any one party. The first was 16th President Abraham Lincoln, who served from 1861 until his assassination, and the most recent being 45th current President Donald Trump, who took office. Okay, boom. So as we can see here, it makes more sense for black people to be Republicans, truthfully. Let's just take a look at the same thing for the Democrats. The Democrats' dominant worldview was once social conservatism and economic liberalism, with populism was its leading characteristic in the rural South. See that? That's where it comes from. It comes from the rural South. In 1942, boom, boom, we just read that part. Okay, boom. And on the other one. Today, House Democratic Caucus is composed mostly of centrist and progressives. What is a centrist? Let's find out. What is a centrist exactly? Moderate or pro-growth. I want to know what the... Okay, this is something. This isn't like an ideology or philosophy. Never mind. With a smaller minority of conservative Democrats, the party's philosophy of modern liberalism advocates social and economic equality. Now, listen. I know it sounds great for blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians, but when it starts including homosexuals and bisexuals, transgenders, gays, pedophiles, zoophiliacs, merciless murders of children.
Right.
You see that? That's the thing is, Republicans are vehemently anti-abortion. Democrats are vehemently pro-abortion, pro-choice. Abortion is what is destroyed and is the single-handed biggest murderer of black people.
That's right.
Known to man in the earth, period. It literally, according to estimates, has decimated and cut the black population in half. Single-handedly stagnated the growth. You can sit here and say, well, you black men, y'all murdering each other. Do you know that black on black murders, we deal with guns, beating people down, things of that nature? You know that it's not even at 100,000 total in the history of America? Not at 100,000. There's more black babies aborted in a year.
In half a year.
In half a year than there has been black men killing each other with pistols. Ever. Point.
Go
ahead.
Because I did some research on this. It's crazy because in my junior year of high school, the Planned Parenthood came and gave a presentation at my school, and so I kind of knew some of the history concerning, Margaret Sanger and things of that nature. So I looked up some statistics, right, to try to substantiate, the argument I was going to have with the representative of Planned Parenthood. And there's actually a site brothers can go to, brothers and sisters, check it out. It's called blackgenocide.com or .org. It's literally a whole site brother made just going into the statistics of abortion, and it's in the tens of millions since the 70s. Right? There's an article I read from 2015, and it stated that in New York City, more black babies were aborted than were born.
Yeah,
And then,
and mind you, it's 1 million black people in New York City.
And then going back to even Bill Clinton, niggas wanted to love and support Bill Clinton, but
That's
Bill
right.
Clinton's wife is a huge supporter of Margaret Sanger.
Yeah.
Right? It says Negroes are pretty much what super predators. Margaret Sanger said we're human weeds. So you dudes are wanting to support a people that are literally think of you as less than nothing, as just the dredge of society, a burden, something that needs to be eradicated. It just shows how destroyed we are as a people.
Exactly. It's crazy. So that in and of itself, and that's a point that this devil James White, which was a good point that he brought out against some Christian Negro, who was saying, well, you have a problem with people who support Trump, but what are we going to do? Support Hillary Clinton, who was a major advocate of the genocide that's being done on your people? I mean, hey, it looks like there's two evils there, bro. Which one affects you more is the question. And they both are affecting us because we know the type of hell that each of them put on the tribes, plan to put on the tribes, and the ones that Trump is currently putting on the 12 tribes, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, especially with these massive deportations, especially so-called Haitians and Mexicans in particular. But go ahead.
This is from that blackgenocide.org, right? And when you look at the Planned Parenthood section, I'm going to just read a section of it. It says, Planned Parenthood is the largest abortion provider in America. 78% of their clinics are in minority communities.
Mm-hmm. And 74% of the Depo-Provera birth control shots that they give out are to black women. And I always like to amplify and bring this out. Depo is short for depopulate, and Provera means those in favor of truth. Pro meaning in favor of, and vera is the Latin word for truth. So literally, the Depo-Provera shot is a shot that's literally designed to depopulate those in favor of the truth. What is the truth? The law, statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father. Who are in favor of the truth, or who stands to profit from the truth? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, who are the 12 tribes of Israel scattered.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Point blank, period. So that's clearly the agenda, but we support the party that backs and funds that program as much as possible. Trump even made it one of his first things to push abortion back to make sure they can't do abortions past 20 weeks. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, they both the damn devil, but I remember how funny it was, man. The brother Captain Tazamar Moff in the camp, he's a barber. So he cuts different people's hair from the crib. So one day I'm over at his crib and one of his boys, a brother, but he's in the world, right? Not in the truth. He's over there getting a cut. This is during the campaign. This is prior to the election of Trump. This is during the campaign. And all he kept saying is, yeah, man, I'm scared. I'm scared Trump's going to get in the office. He's Hitler. That's all he kept saying. He's Hitler, right? So I asked the brother, I'm saying, how? How is he Hitler? And he would just say he's Hitler. And it just shows how easily influence our people are, how stupid. Like, literally, our people would just regurgitate and repeat that over and over. He's Hitler. He's Hitler. Well, how? Compare him to Hitler. Do it. Take an Adolf Hitler speech and take a Trump speech and show me the similarities. Show me the similarities in delivery and ideology and philosophy and fundamentals. Show me any of that. You can't. I can display you, point for point, similarities between Barack Obama and Adolf Hitler. Yep. I can show you that they had the same medical plan. That Obamacare that all y'all love so much and you don't want Trump to get away from is literally a carbon copy of Adolf Hitler's medical plan that he instituted in Nazi Germany. None of y'all don't know that because none of y'all read, none of y'all give a damn, but you are sitting there calling somebody Hitler that you can't draw parallels to Hitler from. Well, I can say the guy that you looked at and viewed as a goddamn messiah who was nothing but a heathen and he hated your damn people and he don't know your struggle because his ancestors were not victims of the transatlantic slave trade or in any way related to it. He was on the whole other side of Africa.
That's right.
Then grew up in Hawaii. Madness.
The most expensive state to live in.
And on top of that, it's funny. I know a devil, a white boy from Hawaii, and he said, if you think being black in America was hard, try being white in Hawaii. He said literally it'd be days where all the Samoans would just jump with white people, just hunt white people and jump.
I had a kid in my junior year of high school tell me that. He said, literally, he's a white boy. And look, man, let me say this. All you so-called white people living in all these various places, whether it be Hawaii or South Africa, if you be getting,
what are you doing there?
What the hell are you doing there, man? You deserve to get your ass whooped.
That's right.
And Israelites, we need to do that, man. Why don't you whoop Slack? Why don't you whoop Esau ass? Because you niggas don't have any kind of courage, man. This white boy was telling me in class, there would be days he'd be walking home from school and all kind of Hawaiians would just beat the piss out of him. Just you tell him to get out of their land.
Yeah, because they hate him, man.
Yeah, and he said just being white is hell in Hawaii. And he said every day was just him getting his ass whooped for being white. That's a good thing. That's a great thing. I'm glad. I hope more of you so-called white people get your ass whooped. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's right. That's damn right. So we can clearly see that, and this is y'all gotta wake up, man. It's high time to wake the hell up. Kanye is a lapdog. Kanye is somebody's boy, multiple white men's boy at this point. Even with all this being said, it's still fuck Donald Trump, fuck Hillary, fuck them all. All right, none of them have your interest, even relatively in their mind. Period. And don't lose no sleep over Ye, man, because he been out his mind. He been out of his mind since my dark twisted fantasy. That was literally him letting you know he's out of his mind. That's where you see again a drastic shift in the type of music that he makes in his behavior. Period. You see it. So fuck him. At least he repent.
That's right.
Period. You have any more to say on it?
I got a couple scriptures.
Go ahead.
It's just crazy. Looking at this dude, some of the stuff he was saying. I was just earlier reading the lyrics for All Falls Down. This dude was saying some powerful things.
Powerful. All Falls Down was major.
Super powerful things. And now look at him. Why? Because he wants to be a white man in America. Right? Knowing if he were to just be down with black people like he's been and not try to be joined to the
Yeah, and then mind you, I almost forgot about this vehement point. George Bush doesn't care about black people. That's really, after that, that's when they got him.
Yeah.
They said, nah, nigga, you're not finna be doing this on live TV. And remember Michael Myers is such a professional. He looked at him so crazy and just gets on the mic and says, well, yeah, so call in and pledge your money. Man, bro, that was Matter of fact, you know what? Let's pull the clip. I was gonna close.
You see George Bush's reaction to that?
No.
He said he was basically, that's so absurd. I can't believe he would say that. Man, I don't understand, bro. I can't. Like the brother said, we don't support the Republicans. We don't support the Democrats. But it's just so crazy how you Negroes can support Democrats in 2018, bro. It's you niggas talking about Donald Trump as Hitler. Hillary Clinton literally supports someone that, going back to the eugenics program. That's
Exactly.
what Margaret's saying. Where do you think Hitler got that from?
Yeah, exactly. From white women.
But all niggas were loving Hillary Clinton. Niggas love Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, who called her a super predator.
Who called you niggas a super
And then some niggas that even that's why they couldn't get a Democrat in the office, because they gave two really shitty options. So that's how Trump was able to quote unquote easily get the Oval.
Each of 3 levees protecting New Orleans, the landscape of the city has changed dramatically, tragically, and perhaps irreversibly. There is now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
Look at Kanye. He made a decision. He already had made it up in his mind that he was going to say that.
That's right.
Right there.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. You see a white family, it says they're looking for food.
Look at Michael Myers. You see him kind of look to his
he's looking like because he's looking at the teleprompter. That's not what it says.
Right.
So, but he's a professional, so he's not panicking. You see what I'm saying? He's not gonna panic. But I remember vividly in Time magazine, literally one page white people were looking for food, the next page black and Hispanic people was on there looting, literally. And then Kanye, nigga, you know this, man.
I mean, he knows it, man. What are you doing?
So now what, right?
And it's been 5 days because most of the people are black.
See, now look, you can tell because it's not even coming off clear all the way. He's kind of jumping. He's clearly nervous. You can tell he's off the grid. Mike is like, my nigga, you're not supposed to be doing this.
And even for me to complain about, I would be a hypocrite because I've tried to turn away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what is the biggest amount I can give, and just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up to help the poor, the black people, the less well off as slow as possible. I mean, Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already
listen. No, they're not. I know they paid you, or maybe they didn't pay you, but you're up there for the Red Cross. But trust me, my nigga, the Red Cross is over there not doing a goddamn thing.
That's right.
But probably raping somebody.
Yeah, that's what they did in Haiti.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Realize a lot of the people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
You see Michael
Yeah, because they were shooting niggas. Remember, if it was dark in the paper bag, you had to shoot it, right?
And subtle, but in even many ways more profoundly devastating, is the lasting damage to the survivors' movement.
It was crazy. They had a whole thing they wanted Kanye to say, and he just said whatever he wanted.
That's powerful.
You see that? And look at this. You mean to tell me that this nigga right here, everybody who can't see it, because of course this is audio, go and all you got to do is type in Bush doesn't care about black people. It's going to pop up. This nigga right here is a completely and entirely different nigga. He's in a sunken place right now.
No, straight up, bro.
And he don't want to leave.
To rebuild and remain in the area. The destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Look at this fat nigga. This fat nigga with the Make America Great. And like I said, got his knees out. Ridiculous. Now, he said, hey, hold up. Let's go back.
Tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
bro, Mike turned and just went away like, nope, and it just went right to Chris.
Please come.
Bro, they cut him out and cut. They wouldn't even tell him to please call. They just cut the nigga. Cut him. Go to Chris Tucker.
In the past few days,
I can't listen to this nigga speak, bro, without laughing.
Listen, Chris Tucker didn't know what to do. I just gotta read. Chris Tucker's on top of the world at this point.
America and people have been stepping up to donate money, to do all they can to help people in New Orleans and all over.
And then George Bush had a reaction to it.
President Bush opens up in his new memoir about that famous moment when West said George Bush doesn't care about black people. It's something I asked President Bush about when we sat down recently in Texas.
Oh boy.
I didn't appreciate it then. I don't appreciate it now. It's one thing to say, I don't appreciate the way he's handled his business. It's another thing to say this man's a racist. I resent it.
I gotta say,
Bush is
George
a funny
Bush
nigga,
is
bro.
fucking hilarious, bro. That's
He's a funny
him
nigga,
and Trump, bro. Look, hey,
They don't give a fuck,
they
bro.
pretty fucking funny, bro.
Listen,
I ain't
man,
gonna
when you
lie
got
to
a crack in this go sit there and listen, man. I don't give a fuck. Okay, these nigga from Texas now, mind you.
It's not true, and it's one of the most disgusting moments of my presidency.
Oh my god.
It's a disgusting moment. You didn't even do it, my nigga.
How about when you bombed the piss out of some Middle Easterns for oil? How about
How
that?
about you went and took and just conquered Iraq in 3 weeks? Remember they conquered Iraq in 3 weeks, bro. Who's ever heard of a conquest that lasted 21 days?
But a nigga saying you calling you out for your racism is one of the most disgusting moments of your presidency. You're the devil that the Bible speaks of. Are you serious?
Yo, this nigga is fucking crazy.
What about 9/11?
He said, I resent it. He said, it's one thing to criticize the way I'm. You hear this nigga? Hold on. But what about 9/11 that you orchestrated, you damn devil? What?
President Bush opens
This
up.
is fucking great.
We sat down recently in Texas.
I didn't appreciate it then. I don't appreciate it now. It's one thing to say,
You see, he banged on that table? Nigga, it's one thing to say, listen what he said. This is some gutter shit. Hold on.
right.
handle his business.
It's one thing to say, I don't appreciate the way he's handling his business. You see that? Bush took it to the block on this nigga.
It's another thing to say this man's a racist. I resent it. It's not true, and it's one of the most disgusting moments of my presidency.
There's a two-term president.
Ask Condoleezza and Colin if I'm a racist.
Right. Condoleezza Rice. Y'all can have her.
Iraq and Afghanistan and the financial meltdown, and he's pointing the finger at Kanye West.
What's so funny is that Trump came in with a Condoleezza too Omarosa. Then he fired her ass.
And that incident as the worst moment in his presidency. I asked Kanye West to respond to President Bush's remarks.
As far as it being the worst moment of his presidency, I can't really speak to that, but as his take, his explanation, I completely agree with and I empathize with totally. And I felt like that the entire time. That, I was being, handled as a hero, and everyone telling me, "Yo, I'm so happy you said that, and I didn't like you before, but now I like you because you said this," and you just sit there and in your heart as a person that I empathize with.
Look at him.
Look at George Bush.
Bro,
That's right, boy.
Bro, sitting in front of him, you see, yeah, boy, you're not going to say shit to my face. You see that? And it was at this point, and this was around the time, mind you, this is published in 2011. It had to have happened after Bush got out of office, so sometime in between 08 and 11 when this is uploaded, because this isn't uploaded by NBC or anything like that, so this is like a re-up. So as we can see here, this is around the time his discography. Graduation came out in 2007. From that point forward is when we see that drastic change. So we got 808s and Heartbreaks and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This is around that time where he's making that statement, which is a further testament to the fact that he had been got to, he sold out by this point.
The idea of being pegged as a racist, I appreciate that. That's the real thing going on. This is, you know what I'm saying?
I'm really proud of you. Please, Master, don't just Master, please.
Please, Master, I ain't mean no that black folk.
The exact perfect wording, because everything that I say gets taken in.
Insensitive. It was insensitive.
Wow.
What he said was insensitive.
Talk about victim
What's
blaming.
insensitive is 5 days of no water because the majority of them people are black. A total fact that you stated. That's insensitive. Nigga, we took crying about words.
Drawn into headlines, and I appreciate that. I came here to say that mistakes that I've grown as a person, and that it's not as easy as boxing someone into a villain role or into a race role.
Nobody wants to be called a racist if in your heart
I do.
Yeah.
I'm a bigot.
you believe in equality of race.
Yeah.
Kanye, you know it's just not true, too. He's sitting there going, yeah, you know it's not true, my nigga.
I didn't, I'm not a hater. I didn't hate Kanye West.
I'm not a hater.
Yo, this nigga is fucking he's gold, man. This is comedic gold. I'm not a
Just
hater.
imagine him and Trump, bro. Just in one room.
Now people are laughing because this is fucking hilarious. And Kanye, can we be quiet for a second? Respect Master when he speaks.
Oh my goodness.
Even Bush is looking like, nigga, you taking this shit too seriously.
All
Let's
right,
have
we're
a
supposed to
fucking
kiss
laugh.
ass, but, you know. Look at his face. Oh shit. Oh my god.
Incredible. Incredible. All right, read them last scriptures, man. We gonna sign this thing out, man.
Come. Right back to
You all right?
all right, this is Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
There you go. Similar point. That's it on that.
That's it.
With that, we're going to sign out, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua again. And tune in for more Beige Rage. It's a Gorilla 2. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? It's a Gorilla 2. I'm probably going to review, oh, that's what we got to do too. We got to do an Avengers review. Infinity War review. So that'll be probably the next one. I got to do a Black Lightning review. What else? What else I just watched? I just watched something else. But shout out Black Lightning. Really loving it. But yeah, stay tuned. All praise Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Shalom.
Shalom.